So, the practical side of Saturn, the side that is astronomy based. So you gotta remember, Saturn is practical. If things don't make sense, or if they're not 3D, you think he's gonna listen? Mm-mm. Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun, and I have a notes. And the 2nd largest planet in our solar system. There could be many more that we don't know or can't see. It is a gas giant made of primarily, in the atmosphere, 75% hydrogen, 25% helium, with traces of other substances like methane gas, water, and ice. That being said, if you were to put Saturn in water, it'll float. The wind speed in Saturn is so rapid that the sound waves that when you hear the playback of Saturn, see if I can pull that up real quick, that the sound that emits from it, like the radio waves, is because of the winds going so fast that it's actually bouncing off the debris in the ring system. Let's see if I can find a recording of that, but while you wait, Saturn is the only planet that has such a complex ring system. There are other planets like Jupiter that have a very faint one, and Uranus, who kind of has a middle ground of the two, but Saturn is the most structured. It is the most in line out of all of them. Compared to every other planet, it's not as much. However, there are other planets that don't have really, to me, practical, logical names. They're named F, V, and insert number here. Those ones are like known as baby Saturns, and those Saturns are like young Saturns. The ring system of the normal Saturn, yeah, okay. You take that ring system, you quadruple the size of it. Now that kind of also makes you think. At a young age, there's a lot of boundaries right there, but as you grow older and older, the boundaries get less and less and less and less and less. Just something to think about. Now, this is what the sound of Saturn sounds like from orbit. The wind speed, because primarily Saturn being a gas giant, there's no there could be some grounding on him, like the actual planet part of him, not the ring system. The wind speed there and the pressure is so intense that it's going and it's bouncing off all those rings. And all those rings are constantly getting hit by the speed of the wind it's generating. Saturn is also made of ice, space debris, and asteroids because of the ring system. I'm not really sold on the fact that the rings are dissipating. I'm not really believing that because it's just, I don't know, my intuitive side is saying, the rings look like they're fading, but how do we know that it's just really fading? If there are some parts that are just coming closer together and then there's being more of a gap? Are they branching out more and more and more? Are they going more inward and there looks like they're getting smaller, larger, or are they just reformating? We don't know. Unless we're actually like point blank noticing it, but that's just the logical side coming in. This one was probably not going to be the most interesting, but the whole idea is if you understand the concept of what the planet is made out of, what it sounds like, what it looks like, the atmosphere of it, and it takes about 29 days for Saturn to do a complete orbit, or 29 years. Don't know why I said days. When it comes to actually like the Earth days, in comparison, it'd be 10 hours and approximately 49 minutes to equal one of our Earth days on him. And here's a little fun, little, very important thing to also remember. This one's kind of like a little bit of a head scratcher. The ring systems of Saturn, 33% of the light that is casted by Sun towards it, 33% of that gets deflected. If you have a really thinking outside the box mind, and if you're able to take the symbolic side of that, you should probably understand what that can kind of mean. But I'll let you figure that out, and if you figure it out, let's see what you got and put it in the comments. I mean, I already know the answer, but I'm gonna want to make sure that, you know, I can't give you all the answers here, because that's another trait of Saturn. He makes you work for it. He actually tests you and actually makes you work blood, sweat, and tears for something. But if you put in the effort, he gives you a surety for your efforts to be rewarded. He doesn't deny. He assures instead. But you have to prove it. Now, next part, we're going to get into more of the fun stuff, like the parts of actually like, what does he represent? What's his sign own it? Like what signs does he own? What houses does he own? Where is he happy in? Where does he feel like he's at home? Where he is an angry man that is ready to just crack anyone upside the head with his hips. And it also will get into some of the ways that you can kind of have him not hit you as much, because there's no way to completely avoid him just walking up to you and then just whacking you one. He whacks everybody. There's no way to get around it. So, next video, we'll get into his symbolism, and then we'll start getting into how he feels in certain signs and certain houses after that. So, see you then.